If your routine looks something like chest and back on one day, legs the next day, and arms and abs the following day, then you're following a split routine. And split training is one of the most common ways to set up a weight training routine. Even though it can be set up a number of different ways, the point is always to separate training sessions in a way in which each session targets a particular body part or a group of similar body parts. While split training can be set up in a way to produce some really great results, full body training is often forgotten about or just left out because most people think that you can't get great results from a full body routine. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. So today I want to explain how training your entire body every day can get you even faster results, and at the end of the video, I'll show you exactly how to set up an amazing full body routine for yourself starting today. So the first advantage of training full body every day is that you can get much more training volume. To put it simply, volume refers to the total amount of work you do. You can define training volume a couple different ways, but the most useful way is to base it on the number of sets you perform per muscle group. So what's the advantage of doing more sets? Well, beginner lifters generally can make optimal gains by doing just 9 to 10 sets per muscle group per week. So they can get away with a low training frequency in which they train each muscle just once or twice per week. But if you're more advanced, you'll need a higher training volume to continue making optimal gains. This is due to a number of reasons, including the fact that people that are more advanced are more resistant to muscle damage and neuromuscular fatigue, and they recover faster from their workouts than they used to when they were beginners. Interestingly enough, research shows a very close link between training volume and muscle growth in advanced trainees. A meta-analysis found a dose-response relationship between training volume and hypertrophy, which means the more sets the participants did, the more muscle they gained. Similar results were found in an 8-week study in which participants did either 1, 3, or 5 sets per exercise. And the results once again showed that there was a dose-response relationship. Higher training volumes consistently led to more muscle growth. The researchers even concluded that muscle hypertrophy follows a dose-response relationship with increasingly greater gains achieved with higher training volumes. So by using a higher training frequency, like you would if you were doing 5 full body workouts per week, you'll be able to do more volume per muscle, which should promote muscle growth. Now, of course, training more and more doesn't always lead to better results. In fact, there's a point where performing too many sets can lead to overtraining, where your results will start diminishing. But that's the second awesome benefit of full body workouts. You won't exceed what's known as the maximum effective volume per workout. And according to the academic literature as a whole, it indicates that the maximum effective training volume is around 9 sets per muscle group per workout. Once you overreach that number, you'll start to see inferior muscle growth. For example, a study on German volume training found that better strength and size gains were achieved by performing 9 sets per muscle per workout compared to 14 sets per muscle per workout. Another study found that the optimal training volume is only 5 to 10 sets per muscle per workout, and groups doing 15 and 20 sets per muscle achieved inferior muscle and strength gains. So the bottom line is that you don't want to do too many sets per muscle per workout. So the great thing about high frequency training is that you can divide your regular training volume over more workouts, which helps prevent you from exceeding the maximum effective volume per workout threshold. So to put this into perspective, let's say that you want to do 30 sets per muscle per week, which by the way is a very admirable training volume. But let's just use this number for illustration purposes. Since the maximum effective volume is around 9 sets per muscle group per workout, that means you would have to do at least 4 workouts per muscle to make sure you don't exceed that limit. If you're aiming for an even higher training volume, let's say 40 sets per week, you'll have to train each muscle at least 5 times per week to ensure you don't exceed the maximum effective volume. In such a case, 5 full body workouts per week would be a fantastic option. Now, it's important to note that not everyone has to do such high training volumes. Sure, if you want to make maximum gains, higher volumes tend to produce better results. but most advanced trainees can still make good progress by just doing 20 sets per week. But even if you're performing less than 20 sets per week, another benefit of training the entire body is that you'll get a higher quality training volume. What I mean by that is if you follow a typical bro split, the muscle or the muscles that you want to train are usually trashed once you're about halfway through the workout. For example, let's say that you're training your chest. So you're going to do the bench press, incline dumbbell press, dips, and flies. Well, even though you will be able to perform the first exercise at peak performance, fatigue will cause your performance to drop the more sets and the more exercises you do. On the other hand, if you spread your volume out across more sessions per week, your performance for each exercise shouldn't decline quite as much. That's because when you train full body, and especially if you do it 5 days per week, you generally only end up performing 1 or at most 2 exercises per muscle per workout. And that prevents you from building up excessive fatigue in the middle of your workout, leading to better overall performance on each exercise. That increase in performance is important because it benefits long-term muscle growth because it'll help you progressively overload by lifting heavier weights over time. Another reason why full body training can produce superior results is because you'll recover faster. I know this may sound counterintuitive, but the fact remains that training more often can improve recovery capacity instead of impairing it. To prove this, researchers divided male student weightlifters into 2 groups, a control group and a heavy training group. Both of these groups followed the same 4-week resistance training routine, which included 2 leg workouts and 2 upper body workouts per week. Then after 4 weeks, the control group continued to follow the regular workout routine for 2 more weeks, but the heavy training group started to train their legs every day for 2 weeks. And by the end of those 2 weeks, the heavy training group gained more than twice as much strength in exercises like the leg press and squats. So daily workouts are more than twice as effective as the split routine. This shouldn't come as a surprise now that you know the power of increasing your training volume, but it was much more surprising when researchers looked at the recovery capacity of the participants. They found that the daily training group significantly improved resistance to fatigue to the point where leg extension strength fully recovered within 22 hours of a heavy, high-volume workout. So in contrast to popular belief, high-frequency training isn't bad for recovery, and instead it actually improves your recovery capacity. Now, this may be due to the fact that performing more strength training throughout the week can significantly improve sleep quality, and sleep quality has a massive impact on recovery. On top of that, higher frequency training also increases testosterone production, and it improves the ratio between testosterone and cortisol, which also supports recovery. Finally, the last benefit of training your entire body every day is that your workouts will actually be shorter, not longer. That's because instead of dividing all your training volume between 2, 3, or 4 workouts, you can now spread it out over more sessions, which means that every workout that you do will take less time. Of course, it does also mean that you have to go to the gym more often, and that is somewhat a matter of personal preference since some people prefer more frequent but shorter workouts, while others prefer fewer trips to the gym even if it requires longer training sessions. But there's a trick that allows you to save even more time with full body workouts, and it revolves around using staggered sets. Staggered sets are essentially back-to-back sets where you switch between 2 or more exercises that train muscles with opposing functions. For example, your biceps flex your elbows while your triceps extend them. Those are 2 opposing functions. So a staggered set for the biceps and triceps could be set up by performing your bicep curls, then resting for only 1 minute, then immediately performing your tricep extensions. Then again, rest for a minute and move back to bicep curls. And you would go back and forth just like this until all your sets for those 2 exercises are finished. This style of training allows you to do more training volume within a given amount of time without interfering with performance. This will allow you to spend even less time working out, and staggered sets can even boost your gains. For example, research shows that performing a full body workout with staggered sets increases work capacity compared to doing straight sets. It also shows that doing rows before bench presses increases power output, and that doing rows immediately after bench pressing improves performance on both exercises. So if you choose to train full body, consider doing staggered sets. There are no real downsides, but there are plenty of benefits. Also, you could even do your workout in a circuit-like fashion to save even more time. For example, you could alter between an upper body press, an upper body pull, and a lower body exercise. If you pair your exercises correctly, they won't negatively impact each other, but you will save a lot of time. So those are the 5 key factors that make daily full body training very effective. And what I've done is I've included a link to a free full body workout PDF that you can access in the description below. It includes 5 full body workouts that you could literally use starting today, or you can use this PDF as a template to help create your own full body workouts. One thing that I should mention before you try this routine is that even with all the benefits of high frequency full body workouts, they're not for everyone. Some exceptions include things like if you're a beginner. In that case, you don't need such a high training volume to make optimal progress. It may even be detrimental. Another exception is if you're really short on time. In that case, it's better to do more of a moderate training volume, like under 20 sets per muscle per week that we were talking about, and doing that in a full body routine or an upper-lower split will still help you achieve some good results, although the progress will be slightly slower than if you were going for a higher training volume. Another issue is if you're highly stressed or you sleep very poorly. Since both can significantly impair your ability to recover, it could make 5 full body workouts per week overkill. One study even found that having high stress levels cut the speed of recovery in half. Finally, the last exception is if you're in a calorie deficit. When you consume fewer calories than you burn, recovery capacity is lower. So you may want to save the 5 full body workouts per week only for when you eat at calorie maintenance or at a surplus. However, if you still want to train full body 5 days per week during a cut, you can still do it by sticking to a lower number of sets per muscle per workout. That about wraps it up, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're looking for a done-for-you program or you want one-on-one coaching with me and my team to help iron out whatever obstacles you're personally facing right now, then head on over to my website and join one of our coaching programs now. Not only do we work with you to create the perfect workout and diet plan, whether that be intermittent fasting, keto, 1 meal a day, vegan, or whatever fits best with you, but we also help coach you in a way that makes this a lifelong, permanent transformation that you will know how to maintain for the rest of your life all on your own. To find out more, click the link below in the description, or you could visit my website directly at gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.